He lost 6 trades in a row and didn't flinch. Not because he didn't care, but because he didn't need to be right. He just needed to play his edge. The average trader clings to the outcome of every trade. They celebrate wins like proof of brilliance. They mourn losses like a personal insult. What? Because they think trading is about being right. But this isn't chess. It's probability. Wall Street isn't filled with prophets. It's ruled by professionals who understand one thing deeply. Winning doesn't come from prediction. It comes from consistency and execution over time. And the only way to stay consistent is to let go of needing to be right and start thinking in probabilities. Mark Douglas in Trading in the Zone put it plainly. The market doesn't know you exist. It doesn't care whether you win or lose. There is no pattern that guarantees outcome. No signal that always delivers. You might have an edge, but even the best edges lose. Douglas calls this the illusion of certainty. The belief that with enough knowledge you can eliminate risk. It's a lie. And the traders who chase it? They suffer the most. Emotionally, financially, mentally. In the short term, anything can happen. A breakout setup could reverse. A perfect entry could get wicked out. A clean flag could fake out and die. But in the long term, if your edge is real, the math plays out. Just like a casino. A casino doesn't care if you win a hand. They care about thousands of hands. Because over time the edge shows up. Traders must adopt this same mindset. Isaac was brilliant. A data guy. Coded his own backtests. Had an edge with a 58% win rate. 1.7 our average reward per trade. But Isaac had a fatal flaw. He couldn't emotionally handle losing streaks. After 3 losses in a row, he'd doubt his method. After 5, he'd abandon it. He changed systems like outfits, thinking the next one would finally be the winner. But none of them got a fair chance. One day his trading mentor asked, if a casino knew the next hand would lose, would they shut the table down? Of course not. They know their edge isn't in one hand, it's in the sample size. That hit Isaac like a freight train. He realized he had a good system. He just didn't have the psychology to let it work. So he did something radical. He printed his entire backtest results. Highlighted every losing streak. Wrote on top in bold, this is just one trade. And something changed. He stopped flinching when red trades appeared. He stopped second-guessing his method. 3 months later. Same edge. Same setups. But now, plus 23% account growth. What? Because he let the edge do the work. Your brain is wired for certainty and patterns. It evolved to survive, not to interpret randomness. Here's what happens. You see 3 red trades. Your brain screams, this doesn't work. You win a trade by luck. Your brain thinks, I'm a genius. This is called recency bias and emotional anchoring. It tricks you into seeing meaning where there is none. But markets aren't moral. They aren't personal. They just are. Every trade is like a roll of loaded dice. You want the odds tilted, but the outcome? Still unknown. Once you accept this, you become powerful. Not because you control outcomes, but because you control yourself. Let's say your edge wins 60% of the time. That means you will lose 4 out of every 10 trades. You could lose 5 in a row and still be statistically healthy. Your job is to execute all 100, not obsess over one. This is the trader's paradox. You can be right about the process and still be wrong about the outcome. But if you stick to the process, the outcomes average out. Here's how to build a mindset like Isaac's. 1. Track your edge. Don't guess. Know your win rate, your average R, your drawdown curve. Probability requires data. 2. Use sample size journaling. Instead of journaling single trades, group them in blocks of 20, 50, or 100. Focus on your execution in each batch. 1 trade equals noise. 50 trades equals signal. 3. Normalize losses. Post reminders. This is just one trade. I don't need to win, I need to follow my edge. Am I trading probabilities or chasing perfection? Turn these into daily affirmations. 4. Simulate the long run. Backtest. Forward test. Run Monte Carlo simulations. See what it looks like to have streaks. and still win overall. Confidence doesn't come from wins. It comes from seeing the math work across time. The greatest gift of thinking in probabilities? Emotional freedom. You no longer overreact. You stop taking losses personally. You stop seeing wins as validation. You become free to trade objectively. Like a surgeon with a scalpel. Like a pilot in turbulence. Calm, focused, detached. Because the outcome isn't your identity. It's just a data point. Imagine this. You're the casino. Your edge? The rules of the game. You lose a few hands, maybe even 10. But you're not worried. Because your edge over 1,000 hands is plus 5%. The player gets lucky. You smile. Because in the long run, the math always comes back home. That's trading in the zone. Even with this mindset, traps exist. 1. Overconfidence after wins. Thinking you're invincible, so you over-risk. Fix. Treat every trade like a flip in a series. 2. Panic after losses. Thinking the system failed, when it's just variance. Fix. Zoom out. Use batch reviews. 3. Revenge trading. Trying to get it back, emotionally. Fix. Detach from individual results. Take breaks after losses. Ask yourself, if I lose this trade, will I feel triggered? Am I more focused on execution than outcome? Do I judge a strategy by 5 trades, or 100? If your answers reflect emotional calm, you're on the path. The paradox is this. You gain control by giving it up. You gain consistency by embracing randomness. You gain freedom by accepting uncertainty. In that surrender, you gain true power as a trader. You will lose trades, sometimes in a row, sometimes in gut-wrenching streaks, but you can still win. If you stay detached, if you execute your edge, if you think in probabilities, you'll trade like the 5%, not the 95% still chasing perfection. Because winning isn't about being psychic. It's about being probabilistically prepared. Want emotional freedom in trading? Start today. A journal in 20 trade batches. Normalize losses. Track your edge. Write this on your desk. This is just one trade. Trade like a casino. Trust the house odds. And keep playing your game.